Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be tackling Albedo's overall kit to have him built with the optimal stats while covering whale and F2P options. With the upcoming release of Goro and Ito in patch 2.3, Albedo will definitely shine as Geo defense scaling characters will be the main highlight. But before we begin, this video is generously sponsored by
Smite is a free-to-play third-person action MOBA by Hi-Res Studios featuring mythological gods and icons. With over 100 gods to choose from, you can empower yourself to dominate the battleground with different set of strategies. To top everything off, its new update features the Transformer skins into its Battle Pass. Through an all-new Smite Battle Pass, players will be able to play as Optimus Prime, Starscream, and Megatron while receiving more in-game rewards to further enhance your gameplay. The skins effects are very nice and perfectly match the playstyle of their own characters. But can these legendary characters defeat the gods of ancient mythology like Hades, Loki, and Ares? Well, it's up for us to check out the skins and work our way through the Season's Battle Pass. Make sure to check out the Season's Battle Pass or try Smite for the first time by clicking the links in the description or comment section. This game is available on PC, Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and Amazon Luna. A big thanks to Smite for sponsoring this video.
Now, starting off with his abilities. Albedo's normal attack consists of 5 rapid strikes. Unfortunately, his scaling is considered low when compared to other sword users. This is the reason why he is rarely built as a normal or charged attack damage dealer. His elemental skill creates a solar isotoma which deals AoE geo damage to nearby enemies. Once an opponent is hit while in the range of solar isotoma, they will be dealt with another AoE geo damage which scales with Albedo's defense. Such is the reason as to why some Albedo user heavily invests on the defense stat instead of the attack stat. Just do take note that this is considered as a geo construct. They can't coexist on the same spot with other geo construct, and they will be immediately removed if you cast it directly on an enemy boss. His elemental burst deals an AoE damage which has the second highest scaling in terms of damage per screenshot among geo characters. In addition to that, it can deal more damage if you cast the elemental skill prior to activating the burst since it will produce 7 fatal blossom damages. So just make sure to have your solar isotoma laid down on the ground before using this ability for the best damage output possible. On to his passives. His first passive simply deals more damage to enemies with HP lower than 50%. The second passive increases elemental mastery upon casting his burst, which can be used to increase shields created through crystallize or increase other elemental reactions. His final passive provides a chance of getting 2 times more the amount of weapon ascension materials you crafted with a chance of 10%. Moving on to constellations. Albedo's first constellation revolves around providing a better burst uptime since it regenerates his energy. The second constellation grants an increase in his burst damage which can stack up to 4 times that scales through defense. In my opinion, this would be the main highlight of all his constellations since defense build will now increase both his elemental skill and burst damage. His fourth constellation will increase the plunging attack of characters within the solar isotoma field. The only downside to this constellation is its restraint to characters such as Xiao or Kazuha for multiple plunging attacks. Lastly, his final constellation increases the damage of those protected by a shield created through crystallize if you're within the solar isotoma field. Then again, should you want to pull for Albedo constellations, best for block in my opinion would be going for his constellation 2. Moving on to weapon choices. We'll go through each weapon rarity for Albedo's best in slot. For 5-star option, it would be the Primordial Jade Cutter since it provides the highest critical rate among all weapons, with its passive boosting your attack depending on your total HP. Some may argue that the damage would be less due to its low base attack, but such stat would matter less if you are to focus on his elemental skill damage alone, which scales solely on defense. For 4-star option, it would be the free weapon we got from Dragonspine, which is the Festering Desire. Its energy recharge stat helps maintain Albedo's burst uptime, and its passive provide a boost in critical rate and damage bonus for your elemental skill. Although your burst damage might feel a bit lacking, it definitely is compensated with solar isotoma's damage increase. For 3-star option, it would be the Harbinger of Dawn, which provides critical rate and critical damage on its main stat and passive. In my opinion, this will be the best option for F2P players at the moment should you want to lean on a more balanced damage for your elemental skill and burst. Only downside on this weapon is when facing enemies that can apply corrosion, since it can disrupt the sword's passive. Other alternative for damage dealing option would be weapon with stats having critical rate, critical damage, or attack as shown below. If you don't have any of these best in slot at the moment, these choices will not fall behind in terms of its output. We'll also be having a new 4-star weapon, but details are yet to be discovered upon its release. Our first option for artifacts will be 2-piece Archaic Petra paired with 2-piece Noblesse Oblige. This will enable Albedo to hit high numbers on both his elemental skill and burst with its increase in geo and burst damage. Such combination is ideal if you are building Albedo with attack to capitalize on the damage increase. Second option would be the 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. Same with the previously mentioned, this artifact will increase your burst damage while providing an attack percent bonus for your team upon casting your burst. Our final option is the 4-piece set of Tenacity of Millilith. This artifact will boost your attack endlessly as long as your Solar Isotoma is in place. Other alternatives will then be swapping some of the current pieces with 2-piece Gladiator or Shimenawa. There's also an upcoming artifact which will be live at patch 2.3, which is the Husk of the Opulent Dreams. This will definitely be Albedo's best in slot since the defense and geo damage increase is massive. But of course, testing will come out once you've grinded on the domain. For the main and substats of your artifact, what you would want to focus on is critical rate, critical damage, defense, and attack. If your Albedo is currently sitting at C0 or C1, attack can be debatable over defense. But if you have him at C2 or higher, I suggest going heavily for defense stat instead. Moving on to team compositions. Best team composition for Albedo is having him paired with multiple Geo characters, as he can serve as a battery for better burst uptime to the team. An example for a Geo comp is having Albedo paired with Zhongli and the Geo Traveler for a quick swap rotation. We can then add Bennett to provide healing and further elevate the team's damage. Zhongli and the Traveler can be swapped out with other existing Geo characters such as Noel and Dingguang, depending on your preferred option. After Rito and Goro's release, they will definitely be the best, if not the best, pairing for Albedo. With Goro buffing the team's defense, both of these characters' damage will be greatly elevated. Since Albedo's element is Geo, optimal composition is mostly restrained to Geo characters. On the good side, it's still possible for him to be paired with other elements, but as of now, there are better batteries to fill in his slot instead. Here's a quick run through of my Albedo stats before we proceed with the damage showcase.
I just can't let you go.
塵となれ疑似王冥王剣戦
No one likes me.
天理チョーク
You made this mess and left me with this.
創世の術今誕生の時
Now I'm gonna burn
全力攻撃だ
bridges between us.
創世触れろ異形を見届けよ天理チョーク避け戦皆は俺が下がれ疑似王今こそ誕生の時と戦みんながそばに天道万象疑似王今こそ誕生の時戦と戦くれろ疑似王今こそ誕生の時戦みんなは俺が守れさて冥王剣戦戦
You made this mess and left me with the pieces.
冥王剣戦
Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us.
みんながそばにいる
諦めなさい降参しなさい
Can't
天理チョーク
I can't
創世の術今こそ誕生の時
無駄な努力をやめたの さようなら。
燃えろみんなは俺が守る天道万象
Just need to clear my head.
取るに足らないわ。
念を牽制
降参しなさい。無駄な
みんなは俺が守る
訓練には逆らいません。
燃えろ今こそ誕生の時
Well, that's it for this video. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts or any suggestion on other ways to build Albedo better. As always, thanks for watching and goodbye for now.